I can't let her crib unless that chopper on me. She say I'm the shit, she gon' put it on me. You can keep this out, I'ma smoke this OG. Remember way back then.
Freshsqueezed family, welcome back to another episode, and we back at it again with another guest. This time, my boy KJ, or KJ Battle, whichever one you want to call him, pulled up on me. What's good, bro?
What's good, buddy?
Shit, I'm chilling, man. I ask every guest this same question, bro, because we coming back to regular life now. What'd you learn through COVID, bro?
I learned a lot about myself, and I also had to learn a lot of discipline, because you get to spend time alone, you know? Mm-hmm. So you had to really focus on what you wanted to come out your life. Everybody here, I feel like, had to think about that at some point during quarantine, you know? Mm-hmm. So I had to really realize that I got to lock in on what I want to do, my passion. Yeah. And I got to go all the way out. It's a lifestyle thing, not just a here and there type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Did you have it at all?
What's up? COVID? No, I still ain't caught it, and I don't plan on catching it.
Nah, yeah, definitely. I had to ask, though. All right, so let's just jump into it, bro. Tell me a little bit about your early life, just growing up.
Oh, yeah, I grew up in St. Louis. I was originally born in Atlanta. So I moved around a lot as a kid, and then I moved up to Chicago for like 2 years. Then I moved to Indiana. Yeah, my parents, they was in the automotive industry working at Ford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you was born in what part? You said St. Louis?
No, I was born in Atlanta.
Born in Atlanta.
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain. Oh, okay. So being in Indiana, how long have you been here?
I've been here since like, I want to say I was in like 5th grade.
Oh, okay. So a little minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did music come about, actually?
Music always been in my life. I feel like since I was a little kid, I always wanted to do it, because I was always surrounded by it. And I just been in the backseat. My mom used to play music all the time. Step-pops used to play music all the time. All the first carters, college dropouts. Shout out Ye. All about do albums, Jay-Z albums, blueprints and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's always been there. And then, you know, as a little kid, everybody want to be like Lil Bow Wow. Yeah. Everybody favorite movie like Mike type shit.
It's so funny because, you know, him and Soulja just had the verses a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And my little brothers, and actually my OG was like laughing about it, like Bow Wow and Soulja. I'm like, hey, don't sleep. When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like both of them, bro.
Exactly.
So, that's so funny that you just bring it up, because when most people mention artists that they listened to growing up or inspired to be, you never hear either one of them names, and they were such a huge part of our generation.
Right.
So you've always been around music. So for you right now, music isn't just like a wave.
No.
So when did you like discover that you were actually talented at it?
When I was a kid, because I used to always freestyle all my older brothers and stuff, and we used to have like a rap battle, and he'd tear me apart. But I'll always come back, because I'm a competitor, so like, you know, I can't take a loss. I go to my room being a little kid crying like, no, I gotta get him back. Yeah. So I started realizing I was decent with words, and I always had a way around it. And then I was in school one day, and we had an English project, and it was poetry. And I wrote a poem, and my teacher pulled me to the side, and he told me, it was crazy because he was one of the like hardest, you know, them type of teachers in high school where you like, they real stern. Yeah, he was one of them, and he flat out told me, he was like, you don't need to go to college to be successful after reading this. So at that moment, I knew I could actually do something with this.
So when, from that point on, you already had songs out, or you were just... So when was your first actual song?
First actual one, I want to say I made, I was probably like a junior. And me and my homies cooked it up, and we were just doing it just to mess around. We did it over the Still Tipping beat. Yeah, we did a freestyle over that and put it on SoundCloud. It did like 10K, and then we ended up taking it down. But yeah, that was like the first time I ever tried to make something. I didn't take it too seriously until really the pandemic. That's when I had to really be like, yeah, I gotta lock in for real and do this like every day. Like, this ain't just a weekend thing or here and there thing, because if I treat it like that, it ain't gonna work.
Right. And did the pandemic help you realize that, or that just happened to be the time where you was like, you know, I'm about to just take it serious since I got time?
It just happened to be the time, because I was already starting to realize that like late 2019, mid 2019, I was just like, I'm starting to do this, but I'm not doing it consistent enough, and I'm not seeing the progression enough, because I'm big on progression. Yeah. And I try to be honest with myself too, especially when I'm like listening to something, I'm like, this ain't it, I gotta come harder. And I was like, okay, I'm making progression, but slowly, how do I speed this up now? I gotta do this every day.
Right. So when you started making music, I'm saying back, like when you was a junior, you made that first song. Was it a write down type of thing, or you just got in there and just said whatever?
Oh, it was a write down type thing.
Write down type of thing?
Definitely.
Is it still like that?
Yeah, because I like freestyling, but I also like to sit down and think about what I want to say and how I want to say it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I really take pride in the penmanship of it.
That makes sense. And it actually makes sense because most artists that I've talked to and they said they just punch in, they didn't start off like already being in love with music. And you said yourself that the first time you ever like realized that I might have a future with this is when you wrote a poem.
Right.
So it was already like kind of there to write the shit out before you say it.
Exactly.
And that kind of leads me to the next question, which is kind of funny. Are you a Drake fan?
Yeah.
So on Star 67, if you read it too late, right?
Yeah, that Weezy clip.
When the Weezy clip, right? So last week I was actually just talking about this on the pod, how I gotta stop getting in here every time something happens. Do you feel that same way? Not do you feel the same way, but in your career, have you noticed that you only make songs when you feeling something?
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that, and I noticed I gotta stop that. I gotta keep. I gotta just make. Even if I'm not feeling like rapping right now, I gotta rap. You know what I mean? Like, just gotta get it out. You know.
It was funny, bro, because it made me sit back and think like, damn, he's saying just get in there and just rap, like do what you do.
Yeah.
You don't always gotta have a situation, but at the same time, I kind of feel like that's when artists make their best music.
It is. Yeah. It's when you being vulnerable and transparent in your music. Because I mean, if we being honest, it's the stuff we relate to. If we look at like the stuff our parents or grandparents used to do, like in the '70s, the soul music, it was all like, it was about something. All the songs they had during that era was about emotions, love, or political topics that was going on, and that's why those songs are timeless now, because it's real things.
Right.
It's not just the materialistic flexing, you know.
Yeah.
The trendy stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly that. So, right now, what is Apex Universal?
Apex, that's a collective. Me and the homies, we started. And it's pretty much, I wouldn't say we're a group, but we a collective of friends who are doing different things from photography, music, fashion. Just trying to really support each other and get each other through the door. But it's also it's a genuine thing. And I came up with the name from thinking about thinking about like animals and stuff. And I was like, all right, if we want to do something, we want to be at the top of the food chain of it. What's the top of the food chain? Apex Predator. So I was telling my homies, like, if we go do this together, we go do it as a collective and not as a group. Because a group, I feel like there's always somebody they try to put ahead. I try to make the stars something, and I'm like, we all are going to be our own stars. That's why I rolled with the name Apex.
So you came up with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a concept I had for like 3-4 years, and now it just kind of came into fruition like last year, you know?
Yeah. So basically it's just a group of friends who just doing different things, trying to make it, and it was like, let's just give it a name, essentially.
Essentially, and it's a support system of each other, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we helping each other grow. Be boldly honest about different things. Like if I send something to the chat, like if I just cook something up, I'm like, yo, how this sound?
Yeah.
Like they let me know if it's that or if it's not, you know?
Yeah.
Same vice versa, you know?
Yeah, you need people like that in your life though, because
Definitely.
we always, I know you always see this too, people say, y'all not telling y'all friends they're not good at music, and we could tell.
Exactly.
And you always have both sides of it, like, well, if you supportive, then you're supposed to just support them regardless. But I'm kind of like you, bro. If I was doing this and like people like, yo, that shit ass, like I kind of want to know that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the only way you gonna get better, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't have yes man people gassing you up when it's really not that. That's
right. Everybody not gonna like everything, bro.
Facts. And if I feel like if you somebody friend you lying them and they not really that, you bogus having them out here like that.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was doing research, obviously I came across the whole Apex thing, and I really didn't know what it was. Like, is it a group? Are they just cool? What it is? But more than that, I was looking at your style of music and just even the way you dress, take pictures, everything like that. And it's a lot different from a lot of artists we see now. Just tell me a little bit about how you feel about just your style and how you're different from everybody else.
See, I draw inspiration from like different areas of different fashion, like different people growing up like Pharrell, Ye, and then I'll look at somebody like Lenny Kravitz, and then somebody like Jimi Hendrix. So like when I dress, it's like how I'm feeling on that day. So I could be feeling like wearing something over here, totally to the right, and then the next day I'm wearing something totally to the left. It's just about like self-expression. That's kind of how I treat the music as well, and I feel like it kind of represents that because it's all over the place, but it's also cohesive at the same time.
Do you think that is a positive or a negative? Knowing what you know now, at least.
I think it's a positive.
Yeah.
I think it's a positive.
If you had to compare yourself to somebody that's in, would you consider rap or R&B?
I consider myself a rap, yeah.
Rap.
Yeah,
if you had to compare yourself to someone within the rap culture right now, who would you say you're like?
Man, that's a hard one right there.
It always is for everybody.
Yeah, that's a hard one because, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of, like, trying to compare because I'm real big on authenticity and originality.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one.
Looking at your IG, I get a lot of Uzi vibes.
Yeah, Uzi vibes?
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard that one.
Just because Uzi is Uzi. Like, he don't
Yeah.
really care. You know, he's going to wear what he's going to wear. He's going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But music-wise, you are a lot different than a lot of other people. So I just want to get your own opinion on who do you think you sound like.
Man. I really don't know. That's you got to tell me that one. I really don't know that one.
Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't think of one either.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of times when I ask artists, who would you compare yourself to? They either have one right away or they like, shit, I don't know. I just, you know what I'm saying? I do my thing. But that was the biggest thing I drew from getting ready for this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, damn, most people I talk to, they talking about, you know, killing ops, you know, same type of shit.
Yeah.
And it was kind of refreshing, I guess you could say, to see someone different come through trying to make it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But staying on social media, you have like a really good social media presence as far as followers and engagements. What's the importance of that to you?
It's a big importance because that's how you get your art out. And I'm actually trying to get even better at like being on social media because sometimes I could just feel like it's kind of draining, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of it's only there for a tool to get your art out there, you know, your work out there.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, I try to at least be myself as much as I can on Instagram.
Yeah.
And try not to portray like something else. There's a lot of people who fake and the flex.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know, everybody sees celebrities doing this, doing that, so they want to try to do that. People going broke for a couple Instagram likes.
Yeah, literally.
And I'm just I'm just trying to set, like, if anything, I'm just trying to show an example that you can be yourself. You ain't got to be something different. Because I mean, we come from Indiana, so we already in the Midwest. We already not necessarily a huge market.
Yeah.
So we kind of different, and I'm just trying to show people it's okay to be different.
Right. And honestly, bro, a lot of people be flexing even when I ask the social media question. They're like, I don't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you're 100% right. That's the only way to really market yourself right now.
Yeah.
And since you've been on this journey, what are like some things that you wish you knew going into it and some things that you kind of regret that you done did as far as the social media aspect?
I definitely regret when I was younger, just wild and not really treating it like a tool, you know, treating it on some kid, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss. Kid shit. You know, just being, you know how kids are, young, ignorant, we talking shit, going back and forth, you know, just being wild back then. I wish I would have realized that, like, nah, I can start here now building my brand instead of just treating it like a regular Instagram page, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of, because it's real life a portfolio if you're trying to do something with it, you know? It's some people, no disrespect to anybody, if you use it for personal reasons, you know, that's that.
Right.
But it's really essentially your portfolio, a digital portfolio.
Yeah, definitely. It really is, though. What are some of your other like avenues you kind of want to take outside of just music?
Definitely I want to get into fashion more again.
Yeah.
I want to get into modeling, and then also after music, I want to get into film. I want to get into on the directing side.
As far as
I got a TV show I've been working on right now. I plan on doing that after I get my platform in music for sure.
Yeah. Has music always been like your main focus? I know you said you always been in love with it, but I know some people, they in high school, they was athletes. They wanted to be an athlete at a point in time. Whatever that happened, now they do music. Was yours always music from day one?
It was, and I kind of got off that track once I reached like middle school and I was in sports. And I was like hooping and stuff. And then like, it didn't go too far. So I had to realize, like, with music now, like basketball, why didn't it go anywhere in basketball? Because I didn't put the time in.
Yeah.
So I can't. So if I want this to go somewhere, I have to put that time in. I have to be in the gym. I have to be working.
Right.
But I got off that track for a while, and I ended up finding my way back just when I was in high school. Because really, this is where I created Chief Keef at. our sounds are not the same nor the content, but the fact that he was his age doing it, he showed me, oh, I can do it too then.
Yeah. Chief Keef definitely, I feel like, doesn't get his flowers for the right reason.
Right.
I know a lot of people say, he started the drill scene, which he did, somewhat started, brought the biggest light to it for sure. But I think it was just, like you said, he was doing everything himself.
Yeah, at 16.
At 16, in one of the worst neighborhoods in America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if that's not motivation for anybody, not even just an artist, then shit, I don't know what it is.
And made a way for all his friends to feed their families on their own.
Right, definitely. What is this? So talk a little bit about your Black Diamond affiliation.
Oh yeah, that's my boy Caleb. He over there.
Shout out Caleb.
Shout out Big K. Yeah.
Y'all was just cool over time, or?
It really started like last year. I was doing this other little side company. I was doing creative directing over there, basically doing merchandise, shooting commercials, different things. And we were looking for investors, and I put it on Snap. And he slid up, and he was trying to invest something that I wasn't comfortable accepting at the time. So I was like, yo, you got to talk to the owner about this. So we ended up sliding over to his shop, and he showed us love from then on. Like, it was just straight genuine vibes. Yeah, so we just went from there, built a genuine relationship, and now it is what it is, and that's my man for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's my brother.
So, as far as your music, going back to the music, now you have how many projects out? One?
I got one, yeah.
One main project out, but you've been doing music for a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the biggest thing you learned and the biggest thing you still have yet to figure out as far as your music journey?
So the biggest thing I learned is to tell your story. Don't think about what other people want to hear. Because I feel like a lot of artists get caught up in looking around and like, oh, what's hot right now? What's popping?
Mm-hmm.
What should I say on this track? What should I say on this beat? And really, I feel like what I had to learn is what I want to say, because I am essentially the product, so I've got something to contribute. And if you look at the game, is the biggest artists are original. Mm-hmm. And they contribute what? They stories. They not imitating somebody else, you know?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's some people who may pop off by being an imitation sound or riding their way, but they don't last too long.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at longevity, and longevity is the people who sat there and made the stuff that they wanted to make, you know? Yeah. But go back to the original question you asked. What's the other one?
The second part was like something that you've yet to still figure out, like something that you want to know how to do, but you just haven't quite yet figured it out.
Production, definitely. I want to get into making beats. I ain't got there yet.
Yeah.
I want to get into the production side, really.
Yeah. Jumping back into what you said about the biggest thing you learned, were you doing that at a point in time?
Oh yeah, definitely. At first, when I first started, I'm like, all right, what's gonna make me pop off? What do people want to hear right now? And I'm looking around, I'm like,
Yeah.
And then the stuff I'm making, I'm like, this ain't him.
Yeah.
And it's really because it wasn't me, you know.
Mm-hmm. So Pure Potential, which is your project, is out now. It's been out for a while now.
Yeah, since February.
Looking back on it, how would you review it yourself?
I think it's aging better than I thought it was gonna age, for sure. And it's crazy because it took me like a month to make that, and I only made that because the project I'm working on right now, I didn't plan on dropping until later on. So in that time span, I'm like, I need to put something out, so I just put out a demo. You know, I locked in for like a month straight, and I came out with that, and I honestly surprised myself, but that really showed that when you really coming down to something, you gotta lock in. You gotta lock in.
Listening back to it, what's something like you want to improve on now that you hear it back?
Now that I want to improve on, definitely like more so, the production for sure. The production for sure. I love the sound and everything, but on this next one, I'm definitely going for a more cohesive sound, because on the demo, it was just me trying to display different areas and different ranges, you know?
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about performing, bro. I haven't had a chance to really ask artists about performing in front of crowds because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
But you've done a couple now, right?
Yeah.
Just talk to me a little bit about that.
Performing, honestly, that's my favorite part about the music. Next to making the music, because I feel like that's where you get to express and show your passion for everything, and then being on stage, you know, that's essentially presenting yourself. That's how we eat in this game. Like streams is all right, but you're not making no real money off of streams like that. Even when you're doing millions, you know, it's still the show money, the walkthroughs, the festivals, the shows. So that right there is just being a performer, and I honestly love it. I really do. And it started off because I used to go to the Chance open mics He used to have them with the Chicago Theater.
Yeah.
He used to have them down there, and me and my homie Omar, we used to skip school, and catch the train from over there, and over there in is it Michigan City? We used to catch it over there.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
And take it all the way down to what is it, Magnificent Mile?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
Kept it right in front of the beam. We got to sprint down the street, try to get there.
Yeah. What makes a good performer to you? What qualities?
Stage presence, moving around, energetic. You know, you got to really be present there. You can't just be timid because people want to come be entertained at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And what I got to envision for my show is raging out. I want mosh pits. I want people leaving there bloody noses. No, I ain't trying to get nobody hurt, man. But you come to my show, you come to have a good time. I don't want nobody in the front row standing there with their phones out. If you in the front row, you losing your goddamn mind.
Yeah, Astro World type.
You having an experience.
Yeah, definitely. Which is I think more of our culture thing, not culture, our generation thing. Because I was talking to, who was I talking to, bro? I can't remember, but I was like, I'd much rather go to a Travis Scott concert than a Jay-Z one.
Right.
Not saying Travis Scott is a better artist or whatever the case may be, but like you said, just that energy, you're going to a Travis Scott concert, like that's like,
you
like
finna remember that
thing, you know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to ask different artists how they feel about performing and the type of show that they want to put on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think got the right idea on that one. Okay. So talking about the future, you say you're working on a project now. I actually saw a couple of days ago you just released like another visual, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Just talk a little bit about things you got coming up in the future.
Oh yeah, I got a couple videos coming, a couple singles coming up off the project, wrapping up on it. I'm really trying to push the boundaries, especially and take this music shit into a different area.
Yeah.
And give Indiana almost an identity of individuality. Like you don't gotta do the same things. And that just goes for even like my friends who I'm making music with, like Forrest, for example. Me and him don't sound alike, but he doing his own thing, staying true to himself. Same thing with Simi.
Yeah.
You know, we bringing individuality
right
to the game, and that's what we trying to kick the doors open and introduce. And with this project I'm working on, I feel like it's gonna shake something. Definitely hoping so.
When are you looking to drop?
I'm looking at late fall.
Late fall.
Yeah.
So as far as within the next year, so like this time next year, where do you want to be realistically? You know, we all got goals, but short term goal, what do you like want to accomplish within the next year?
Short term goal, definitely want to do a million streams on the project for sure, which I feel like that's definitely doable.
Yeah.
Maybe a video or two reaching that as well. Actually, I should have set the goal higher. I
mean, you know, when you in this day and age, we definitely judge a lot of stuff off if it touched 1 million views and all. So that's definitely a doable goal, but still big enough to you should be proud of that shit.
Yeah.
And I be telling all my guests, bro, like no matter what it is, you should be proud of it regardless, because you took that step to be like, you know what, regardless if people think my shit trash, ass, whatever, I'm gonna just keep doing what I do. And I definitely commend you for that because you are different. Like, definitely, bro. So make sure you stay on yourself about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get too down on yourself about if you don't hit a million. You know what I'm saying? And I was actually talking to, I ain't even gonna put his name out there, but he responded when I dropped that anxiety episode of the pod. And I found myself like doing that same thing that you just said, like, yo, I gotta get this many views on my shit or I'm a failure. How do you deal with that, like within yourself?
You honestly, I feel like you only a failure when you quit. That's how I look at this, because it's all patience and persistence. So if I don't reach that goal, I'm gonna lock back in and go even harder until I get there. And that's how I've been able to get to where I'm at right now. And I may not be exactly where I want to be right now, but I'm further than I was and way closer.
Do you have you ever like dealt with that within your career as far as feeling like I'm not where I should be right now? Or have you always been kind of like...
When I first started out, and I felt like that was my entitlement because I was too busy looking around at other people. I'm like, damn, why they doing this? Why they doing that? And I realized I'm not putting in the same work as they were. And I felt like once I had to get over that entitlement and actually put in the work, that fear kind of went away.
Yeah. Interesting, bro. So let the people know where they can find you, bro.
You can find me on Instagram at Khyree Battle, Khyre, last name Battle. There's no underscores, nothing. Same thing on Twitter, same thing on Facebook, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, same thing.
Definitely will have it, like always, in the description of the video. Once again, shout out to the Black Diamond family. Shout out Kayla for sending me everybody, man. Shout out KJ. I actually enjoyed this conversation a lot, bro. It was a lot different than a lot of my other guests. Not dissing any of my other guests, so y'all don't even take it like that. But I feel like the conversation got a little deeper than just music. You know what I'm saying? Like getting into the actual mind and the detail of how you thinking about something before you just drop it. I definitely enjoy these type of conversations, bro. So I definitely want to thank you for coming through.
Appreciate for having me, man. It was definitely fun. This didn't even feel like we was doing an interview.
Nah, I know. It felt like regular conversation.
Yeah, regular conversation.
And that's the goal. That's the goal I want to have every time. So shout out to Black Diamond. Shout out KJ. Make sure y'all go stream the music. Description will be in the description. And we'll holler at you next time.
You will find another me if you lucky. I gave you all of me. Got on my ass and got me a bag and look at you calling me. You said I ain't shit and I thought I was toxic. How you fall for me?